Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead.
A quick reminder to subscribe to this channel below to receive alerts and daily market analysis videos of all the key asset classes. On the economic calendar for today, we have ECB monetary policy meeting accounts at 12:30 p.m. and the US Fed's Powell speaking at 5 p.m. In the currency markets, the weaker US dollar is expected to maintain its current trend, as well as in the commodities, boosting the metals and the oils. At the same time, the global indices and equities in focus enjoy a boost from the bulls as they test resistance levels. You could jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Looking at currencies first, US dollar index has comfortably broken below that 95 level. And this is reflected pretty solidly if we have a look at euro against the US dollar. We can see that yesterday had a pretty strong kick out and breaking out of that range. This is a relatively satisfying look. We've done it in the past and then gone back within that range, but this is a different thing. I think price is very much keen on moving beyond this. So my expectation, of course, today is to see this continue to climb, to see that euro continue to strengthen. Now, looking at cable, it's not as strong. It actually hasn't managed to break out of its range. I'd like to see that follow through by breaking through its resistance level. That would just lend weight to that and also would just be good for cable to get a bit of a break. Euro yen is now pulled back into the moving averages, not a bad area, so potential swing high opportunity for me here if price continues to head down. Momentum indicators look nice and happy there, so no reason why price can't continue with that. And also looking at Kiwi Swissy, which is now produced a nice rejection candle in that in the sell zone in the moving averages, potentially now heading lower, continuing further down. And that's all that's on my list for currencies for today. Moving on to commodities and looking at gold, that weaker US dollar is going to help boost gold. Now, it's definitely overdue for a retracement, but if it pushes through here, the next level's at 1310. I'd prefer for it to do a nice retracement here. It'd just be healthier. But having said that, a weaker US dollar is a weaker US dollar. It'll push it through. And similar with silver, also will help just kind of nudge it through and head on to the next level of support, which is closer to 1620. So then having a look at Brent, the US Brent oil, and excuse me, just looking at that weekly retracement, we've just solidly broken through that 1655 level and now heading on towards 18, so that's the next level up. Again, this same thing with that weaker US dollar having that impact. And then finally on my list of commodities here, palladium. Just waiting for a nice retracement on the daily back into this area here between the moving averages. I'll be looking for a swing entry there to go along. And again, if we get that stronger US dollar, just to kick it back a bit. But having seen the US dollar has finally started to move out of its range, I think it's leaning a little bit towards continuing to weaken, and so the metals might continue to climb and then retrace later in the week or early next week. But so I'm prepared for both courses of action there. And on the global indices, looking at Wall Street first. So really today and over the next couple of days, I'm going to be looking to see how the behavior is pretty normal. I'm looking really to see how that weekly candle finishes out. If look, for example, to the UK 100 on the weekly time frame, the same with the US, really looking to see if we do get a bearish weekly candle. This will then support the idea if we break the low of that next week, that we start to revert back to a more medium to longer term bearish outlook. On the other hand, if we do close up higher, start to push, we're all sitting pretty much, most of the indices are sitting at local resistance level. If we start to head up higher today and finish really strong, we then start to support that a stronger longer term outlook. So really over the next 24 to 48 hours, pushing through these resistance levels or rejecting them is going to help with that medium to longer term outlook. We had that attempt in November, failed, and really looking to see if we start to get that. We had a strong bullish candle in November, followed by a rejection of that in December. Now looking to see if we can produce another bullish candle in January. And it's similar no matter where we look. All of them are now sitting at those resistance levels. And really just looking to see how those bullish candles finish up. And wrapping up today's video is looking at the selected equities in focus, starting off with Facebook here. Very nice and bullish, breaking through that level of resistance. So want to see it break this previous high as well, but this on a weekly time frame continuing on high, supporting that bullish development. Then Apple just confirming that not much has really changed on that chart as well. So this is something that just still waiting on that. It's got quite a bit of a way to head up into those resistance levels. Likely to see a bit of a catch up there, if especially if all the other charts are moving as well. Amazon still building that strong bullish base. Interesting here just to see Microsoft And Boston Science as well, producing those bullish candles. Microsoft in the buy zone, that's quite a nice little setup. Boston Scientific continuing to build on that strong bullish candle here, the rejection of the lows. Really nice. So that's a bit different from yesterday as well. So this is on that monthly time frame and definitely supporting that more bullish medium to longer term sentiment. And then on my list of bearish ones, the one that I'm very interested in is BP, and I'm actually looking at this on a monthly time frame. It is showing quite a significant candlestick there as well. So this is one I was actually shorting from November through December, and actually here it started to build up a base. It's worthwhile noting. So BP actually appears on its monthly time frame to be setting up as well to resume its longer term move to the upside, actually, and heading back up towards 590 and 600 respectively. So that is very interesting there, especially if we close with a bullish candle and then break the high of that in February. So that's worthwhile noting in terms of that longer term value of BP. So there we go, folks. I want to wish you a wonderful day. And if it's trending, I'll be there.
Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.